very, like, in the
How
beginning,
long have you done
I
it?
was very, very skeptical about anything religious, anything spiritual, anything, and of course curiosities were there about everything.
Right.
But then my method was, in fact, if I can define religion, my religion was physics. I thought that I have to find answers, but find answers with a very systematic and reliable method. So I'll not believe in anything religious or things like that, but I'll find answers through physics. And then quantum mechanics came, and then it turned out that this node is blocked. And it, in fact, showed the way also that basically in quantum mechanics, in order to understand any phenomenon, you have to understand the interaction between the object and the subject. Just understanding this object will not work, because phenomenon is interaction. So there was no method provided in physics to understand the subject. And luckily, at the same time, when this question came about, I read an article in Scientific American about Transcendental Meditation, which showed that a purely mental technique can produce physical effects. So that means this is one way of seeing how mind and matter interact with each other. So that spurred my curiosity. So I later on learned meditation. It's a different story how this nature supported, because at that time I didn't know where to learn and all those things. But it was very clear that this path is not the path which...
And so the way you learned was like just the way you taught me yesterday, for instance. Yeah, same.
Yeah, same thing, only extended over 3-4 days. So actually then that is necessary also for particularly Western audience, because all these concepts are so new that you have to tell them one step at a time. But for Indians, and now even, first of all in those days, the very word meditation was very, people had completely different ideas.
Right.
And many people had not even heard it. But now that people generally know that there is something good, so it's not necessary to go that slow. You can do it. So I've compressed the whole thing, as Maharshi suggested. And it works for 1 hour also. It works. Even now, a lot of explanation is needed. Like we spent about an hour, so half an hour was just understanding what not to do in meditation.
Right.
That's why I said, a 5-year-old child, you don't have to spend time in telling what not to do.
Yeah, because of all the
preconceived notions. So half the time even now is taken in describing what is not to be done.
It's actually a big aha moment for me, because I was a firm believer that meditation meant to blank your mind out. And that was your end result, and I could never figure out how to do it.
99% of the world thinks like that.
Yeah.
No, it is the end result, but it is not the path.
Yeah.
The path is to let go, and then when you let go, your mind will be blank.
It may or may not be, but that's not important. That's not the aim. That's not the aim.
I mean, taking this in the wrong.
Revisions.
We need help.
Revisions.
I think that's what the goal of meditation is, right? You want to achieve a higher level of coordination, a higher level of efficiency.
It's like sort of
you cannot go blank.
Right. It's like sort of resetting.
That is also another case. If it goes blank, even that we don't stop. Because efficiency is to be achieved outside of meditation, not during meditation.
After.
So the goal is actually efficiency.
Goal is actually efficiency. Goal is results which you get outside of meditation. That is the goal. Not what happens during meditation.
So at least the way I synthesize was like it's a way to reset the mind and like your body, and so like you after that you become much more efficient, right?
Reboot, yes.
Reset, reboot.
Defragment.
Yeah, that's all.
Defragment.
That concept I get, which is why I value sleep
Because we
so
don't,
much.
sleep alone
is
is
very good.
You know,
Sleep
but
is
this-
very important.
Yeah, so this is the
This is like
other
a
level of
power
it.
sleep.
Power sleep. Exactly.
Exactly.
Power sleep.
Yeah. So is yoga nidra the same as meditation or no? It's a different concept.
Yoga Nidra is not exactly meditation. But then the quality of sleep changes. If you have been doing meditation for a long time, then the sleep itself changes in a way which becomes yoga.
It's nighttime yoga.
This guy
No,
had
but
taken it, so he bought it back. So
It could be during day.
it is a deep rest.
It's a deep rest. Yes.
when Ramana was taking my place,
He took it.
What is it called?
he
Yoga.
had it and he missed by
I don't
mistake.
know why it's called. It's
Literally
like
sleep,
there's a-
sleep.
Yeah.
Basically, see, there are three states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and sleeping, that we normally are aware of. So, you can think of them as like in when a drama is being played. On the stage, you have a light, and in front of the light, you have sometimes red filter comes, blue filter, different colors, and the whole stage gets colored by that color. So similarly, consciousness is one. I remain the same. I dream, I wake up, and I sleep. So there is one I only. But in the dream, there is a completely different world. In waking state, there is a completely different world. Sleep state, there is a completely different world. So that means some part of the nervous system is acting like a dream filter or sleep filter or waking filter. But that is not the real source of the light. Real source of the light is behind those filters. So one can reach that through this sleep state. From this o'clock to this much time we are sleeping, then we are dreaming, then we are waking. So we can get to this state, which is the source of all these three, through any of these three. Meditation is getting to that state through the waking state. In waking state, what we experience is thoughts. So thoughts is the defining characteristic of waking state. So we allow those thoughts to become fainter and subtler, and ultimately we reach here. Sleep also has its own defining characteristic. We use that characteristic to reduce, like if you want to get to white light and you have three filters, red filter, green filter, blue filter. You can fade the color of the red filter and come to white light, or fade the color of green filter and come to white light. Yeah, so
But you have more control when you're like in your waking
in your
state.
waking state, you have more control. So.
Yeah, when you're sleeping, I guess you can manipulate.
And when you're sleeping, you can't teach. So the only possibility